Welcome to Fit for Halter. In this episode, I am joined by a halter horse trainer whose story is as inspiring as it is impactful. From her early beginnings and pivotal moments that shaped her career to the philosophy behind her training program today, she's built a life dedicated not just to great horses, but the people around them. I'm excited to introduce to you Cathy Sasser. She's the owner and trainer at Sasser's Paint Horses. So we'll dive into what Cathy looks for in a promising halter horse, how she defines success, and why she believes investing in the next generation of exhibitors and trainers is key to keeping our industry vibrant. So welcome, Cathy.
Hi, how are you tonight? Thank you for having
Uh,
me.
oh, you bet. I am doing fine. Thanks so much for being here. We appreciate your investment in this community and our industry. So let's get started. Can you share how you first got started in the halter horses and what drew you to this specific discipline?
Well, I was born into a life of horses. My dad trained racehorses. My grandfather trained racehorses. My dad rodeoed. So I was I was destined to be in the horse industry. I did not
Mm-hmm.
have plans on being a horse trainer when I originally started this, but I grew up showing 4-H and open shows as most of us did. And my dad sent me to every clinic that Doug Householder and BF Yates had because he thought they were the gospel. And so that's where I got my early start, was in 4-H. And the halter horses were just always something that I really liked, even in 4-H. We done the judging and everything, and the halter was my favorite class.
Mm-hmm.
So it was kind of destined. And then as life went on, um, I married Charlie,
Mm-hmm.
and we went to a show in Beaumont in 1988 and met him. I tried to buy a pleasure mare that he was riding. Needless to say, I didn't get her bought, but I got 6 months later, we were married. And so
Oh,
Charlie,
I love it.
Charlie
So
Grove.
you ended up with the mare.
No, because she
No?
belonged to a customer of his, so I still
Oh,
didn't get the mare.
shoot.
But
Shoot.
I never got to ride her either. But anyway, he rode all around horses and everything. And then in the late 90s, his halter horses started taking off, and we just went straight to halter horses. Been there ever since.
Yeah. Hmm. So, what were some of the more influential people? You mentioned a couple of names, but who were some of the most influential people early in your halter career between the two of you?
Well, obviously, in the horse industry, my father was the most influential person in my
Mm,
life. And then, as far as the halter horses, it was Charlie.
mm,
Um, we done everything together. We
mm-hmm,
trained horses together. Um, and so through him, I've met many influential people that has helped me along the way.
uh-huh.
Obviously, in the last 5 years, I have had tremendous help from
Mm,
different ones in the industry. It would just be hard to name them all.
yeah, absolutely. A lot of great people in our industry, for
There
sure.
really is. All you've
Mm-hmm.
got to do is pick up the phone, call somebody, and they're willing to answer your questions.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. So looking back, what was maybe a pivotal moment that shaped the direction of your journey as a trainer?
Well, the pivotal moment in my career when I went to training horses on my own was in 2020, December of 2020, when Charlie died.
Mm,
Charlie died of COVID in 2020. And at that point, I was on my own. His last words was, "You've got this." So then I had to make it work. I didn't have a whole lot of choice.
yeah.
And, we discussed everything. So now here I was on my own, and I
Mm-hmm.
had to figure out how to buy horses with no advice.
Mm, that probably felt like a big responsibility.
Yes, ma'am, it very much did.
Yeah, yeah. So, what are some of the challenges that you've faced now that you've built perhaps the second phase of your career?
Well, at that point, my challenges changed. I had to become a
Mm-hmm.
carpenter, a mechanic, bookkeeper, because he done all that. All I had to do the last 20 years was train horses, and
Mm-hmm.
everything else. So at this point, I had to do everything in life and figure it all out on my own. Trust me,
Mm-hmm.
I'm a much better horse trainer and mechanic than I am bookkeeper. I was I was very fortunate that after he died, my mother was there. My mother was there every
Mm-hmm.
afternoon to help me clean stalls. She was there for everything. And we had couple really good friends, Mark and Carol Irwin. Mark and Carol were there every day to help me get through the initial
Mm-hmm.
change.
Yeah, that's a lot. So, in looking at your program, how would you describe your program and then your philosophy behind it?
I keep it simple. I keep my numbers small, and my
Mm-hmm.
customers are really good friends. We're really close. One of my customers happens to be our doctor. We go to shows. Everybody, Charlie always believed everybody got along.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't matter how many horses we had in the barn because back then, there was at one time I hauled 28 head to the Pinto World.
Oh my.
And his deal he preached is everybody got along. We were all happy for each other. It didn't matter who won, who lost
Mm-hmm.
that day.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I've lived by that, and I continue to try to preach that to my customers. Doesn't matter which one of us wins, which one of us loses, we're going to be happy for the other person because
Mm-hmm.
tomorrow it'd be a different story.
Yeah, that's true. That's a really good point. So, what about the horse side of your training program? How would you sum that up?
As in, what? I'm not a the.
Just thinking, you mentioned the people side of your training program and how your philosophy is that everybody gets along.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, how would you
So
describe that on the horse side of things? Mm-hmm.
if you've got a question, I just pick up the phone, I call somebody,
Yeah.
and I ask. But
Mm-hmm.
like I said, I keep my program simple.
Uh-huh.
I don't try to take my customers to a show where they don't fit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. That's great. And it probably adds to the notion of people getting along when there's a comfort level at a show and the right number
Right.
of horses. Yeah.
I have the customers that go to the majors, but then I have customers that we take to smaller open shows, pinto
Mm-hmm.
shows, so on and so
Mm-hmm.
forth. It,
Yeah.
I try to fit my program around the person.
Yeah. Yeah. That's great. So when you think about the horse, what qualities do you look for in the halter horse when you decide whether it has potential for that client or not?
My first two qualities in a halter horse is pretty and balance. I love
Mm.
the pretty because obviously the pretty is first impression you get when you walk to the gate. So that is my first thing. And
Mm-hmm.
then you have to go with the balance because balance is everything to a horse. He cannot do anything if he's not balanced. But as far as fitting it to the person,
Mm-hmm.
I don't really buy a horse to fit to the person. I buy the horse and then I fit the horse to the person.
Mm.
Does that make
Okay.
any sense?
Sure. Sure.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's all in the training.
Mm-hmm.
Some horses you have to train to be a little more down for a
Mm-hmm.
particular person. You,
Mm-hmm.
another customer can get more out of a horse than some of the others.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that makes sense. Do you feel like there's a balance between natural talent that maybe a client has and then the program that you build around the horse?
Of course,
Mm-hmm.
of course. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Every horse is different, so you have to modify a program to be with
Mm.
that horse. No
Mm-hmm.
different than you have to modify the program to be with the customer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. So, tell us a story about a horse in your barn that maybe exceeded your expectations, just maybe blew you away.
So after I went out, after Charlie died, one of the first horses I bought for a lady, I bought from Bill Huckabee.
Mm-hmm.
And we went out to Bill's place and she went with me and we bought this horse. And, you know, I said that day, I said, well, he's a good starter horse. He's not going to be a great one. His name was H.R. Elusive Touch. She called him Huck since we picked him up at Mr. Huckabee's place. And every time I thought I just about had this lady convinced that, oh, yes, we need to go buy a better one, he goes and wins the Palomino World. He, she wanted to go to the Select World. And I thought, I'll have to haul him for the rest of his life to get enough points to go to the Select World. We go to one show. He's grand. She finishes her ROM in amateur. He's
Uh-huh.
grand in the under all judges in the open. And I'm like, so here I am again. And so it was kind of funny because every time I said, well, we can go, but I really don't think he's going to get this done or that done, he by far exceeded anything. And every time I did, I'm like, okay, well, here I am again, eating my words.
That's awesome. Far better than the other way it could have gone, I suppose.
Well, that is fact. That is fact.
Oh, that's a fun surprise. So, you've probably touched on a little bit, but how would you define success for your program beyond titles or trophies? What does success look like for you?
The closeness of the relationship with
Mhm.
myself and my customers. I can go to a horse show with the confidence knowing that no matter the outcome, my customers are happy with the job I'm doing.
Mm,
We go together, we ride together, we stay together. It's
yeah,
we just have a lot of fun.
yeah,
And
yeah.
as long as your customers are having fun, they're happy.
Mm. That's true. That's true. Um, you mentioned to me when we first chatted about your passion for investing in the next generation, and that there's a horse show coming up that is a demonstration of that. So we'll get to the horse show piece, but tell us first, why do you believe it's important to mentor, invest in younger people in our industry?
I'm gonna go back to
Mm-hmm.
before also.
Sure.
Charlie
Yeah.
always preached that the youth were our future. If we did
Mm-hmm.
not invest in the youth, there were no future exhibitors, trainers, breeders. All of that, all of that comes down the pike. And
Mm-hmm.
so you have to give back.
Mm-hmm.
We done a lot of giving back. He would go to 4-H clubs and give free seminars. He would go to open shows, and the kid that was there that had no trainer, he was a new person. Charlie was the first one there to help him. He would be there from start to finish. He would
Mm-hmm.
help him get in the ring. He would do whatever it took.
Yeah.
And so he preached to us forever that we had to invest in the youth.
Mm.
And I still do as much of it as possible, even though I don't carry a lot of youth kids anymore. I
Mm-hmm.
had one particular lady that called me this year, and I started giving her oldest daughter some lessons. Well, the younger one decided that she thought maybe she might like to show a halter horse. So I get this message from this lady one day, and she says, how much would it take for me to find an older gelding for my daughter to show?
Mm-hmm.
I said, not much. I have one standing in my pasture. Well, he was a 20 something time world champion horse. He's 11 years old. His name is He's That Cool. He's kind of my success story because
Mm-hmm.
Lord knows him and I have spent hours together. He's
Yeah.
a little cantankerous, but I said, I have him. He's basically been retired. You're welcome to take him. You you can take him. She couldn't afford to put a horse in training. I said,
Mhm.
you're welcome to take him home with you. So on and so forth. The little girl has had a very good year. She was reserve in the quarter at the Houston Stock Show. She
Mhm.
was second or third under all the judges in the at the paint. Finished her
Mhm.
ROM. She's finished her superior this year. She won her District 4-H show with him, and so you know, I just let her have him for the year, and so he'll come back at the end of the year, and we'll find her something else. But she was just one that they didn't know if she'd want to show, and he's
Mhm.
made her a success this year. So now we're looking for her a new one.
Mission accomplished. You did a great job helping that young lady. That's awesome. Very cool story. Um, so what opportunities do you see? The example that you gave was a great example of this, but what other opportunities do you see for youth or new
We have
people
many
to get into Halter?
opportunity. We have
Uh-huh.
many opportunities now for the youth because the scholarship programs have
Mm.
grown so much, and
Yeah.
I'm going to use the Paint Horse Association for example. You
Mhm.
can use Pinto also. They had a certain number of scholarships. Now we have scholarships in every class at the paint world. We have WCHA. WCHA offers scholarships. Not
Mhm.
only do we have scholarships for in the ring, but you also have judging scholarships, and there's also more exposure now for these kids that want to go on and continue and ride collegiate.
Mm. Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, it creates a great pathway for them, helps invest in their education. So you have a significant amount of involvement in the Margarita Classic um, Paint Horse Show. So tell me about that.
Well, I could talk about the margarita for days,
Okay.
but in 2001,
Uh-huh.
Charlie retired from teaching, and we moved to Seguin. And at that time, the group that had South Texas Paint Horse Club called, and they said, if you don't take over the South Texas, we're going to close it down. Well, the Margarita had been in existence for over 40 years with the South Texas Paint Horse Club. So Charlie was like, we can't let it just close down. So we started the Margarita, or we continued the Margarita.
Mm-hmm.
At that time, it was being held in Fort Worth. It was one of the top horse shows in the nation. And we have continued it. And so we built it, and it was one of the top shows for many years. Well, when Charlie died, I didn't need a house full of flowers. So I talked to Sally Griffin and I said, what can we do as far as a scholarship?
Mm-hmm.
We decided we did not want to do a scholarship, that we wanted to give back to more than just one youth.
Uh-huh.
So we put together the Tribute to Charlie Fund. It started with the memorial that I had
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
donated. And
Mm-hmm.
so we have a free youth show.
Mm.
The entry
Wow.
fees for all the youth are free. Last year we added Palomina. We added Palomina to our
Mm-hmm.
show. This year we've added buckskin. And so it's a
Wow.
multi-breed show, and the youth entries are free for all breeds.
Wow.
We also give circuit champions to jackets to every
Mm-hmm.
class. And so we do our best to make it fun for the youth. We do auctions, silent auctions.
Mm-hmm.
This year I had a customer donate a ranch saddle. So we sell tickets. All of the money to all the proceeds to that goes into the fund for the youth to continue this show.
Mm-hmm.
So if anybody's interested in buying tickets for the raffle, please contact me.
I plan on it. That sounds like a great opportunity. So how many youth do you usually have sign up for the show, registering for the show?
Well, we don't do pre-entries,
Okay.
so it's hard to say
Sure.
how many youth.
Sure. Yeah.
Last year we had quite a few. That I can't give you an exact number. I'd
Yeah,
have to,
that's okay.
but we had a pretty good show the last few years.
Mm.
And so we've been really, really pleased. We did have a few Palomino youth kids last year.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
So that was quite a success because there has not been a Palomino show in the state of Texas in a long time.
Mm.
So we're trying to bring it back. We're trying to bring some of the buckskin. So we're just trying to build a show.
Yeah. It sounds like it. And what are the dates of that show?
It's November. You would ask me that question.
Sorry.
I think it's the 16th, 17th, 18th.
Okay. That sounds familiar. I think we talked about that. Maybe 15th and 16th.
I'm sorry, it's the 14th through the 16th.
Okay, gotcha. So Margarita Classic, November 14th through 16. And where is the show located?
It's in Waco, Texas.
Waco, Texas. Okay, very cool. So, how do you, in your passion for the youth and the next generation, how do you bring either younger trainers along or exhibitors or even amateurs into your program?
My deal is just when you're talking to these people, stress the fun that you're having. It's not all about the win or the lose.
Mm-hmm.
It's not all about winning and losing. It's about fun. The people that are doing this, they're not going to get rich, okay? They might get lucky, they sell a horse for a lot of money or something, but they're not going to get rich. They're going to have fun.
Yeah, yeah, it's a good point. Can you tell us a story about a youth or an amateur that you've mentored in the past and the impact that you've made?
Yes, ma'am.
Mm.
Charlie had went to a Pinto show one day. I didn't go. And as I said, he was always there for the underdog.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of a funny story, but this particular man, there's a rainstorm blew up. Just out of the clear blue, this man was standing beside the barn and got struck by lightning.
Mm.
And Charlie was there and
Oh my
helped
goodness.
him and got to talking to him and his wife. Come find out they wanted a horse. So he told him my dad had one for sale. They went to dad's, they bought this horse, and they come out to the house. Charlie says, "These are your new amateurs." They weren't your typical horse show people, okay? She looked kind of like from the urban cowboy,
Okay.
and he had long gray hair and a big earring in his ear, and it's like, oh my God, what am I going to do now? And so I had to figure it out.
Uh-huh.
So I did. They had a very, very successful show career.
Mm-hmm.
She died in 2016. He
Mm.
died in 2020. But they wind up being amazing friends, amazing customers, and an asset to the industry. So, I mean, the point is stop and talk to anyone because you don't know
Mm-hmm.
who that person might be, might be able to bring, or who a
Mm-hmm.
new customer might be.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's cool.
Charlie was
Um,
always there to help the underdog. If they didn't look like they were supposed to be there, he was there and he would tell me, "You need to help these people." I'm like, okay. So I've tried hard to do that.
yeah, yeah.
And
What advice? Go ahead. Sorry.
you can never tell the impact you have on somebody's life.
Mm, yeah, that's very true. Yep. You never know the seeds that you plant, right?
That's right. You never know the impact you can have. So, and you never know what a smile can do.
That's true. Yeah. What advice would you give parents who are raising kids that might want to be a part of the halter horse world?
My advice to parents is find you a starting place, something you
Mm,
can afford. Realize realize that before you even purchase the horse.
mm,
If it's 4-H shows, if it's open shows, if it's breed shows, but make sure it's not going to be a burden
mm-hmm,
and that it's something that the whole family can do.
mm-hmm,
And just kind of like using my other people that I had example, they bought the one daughter a horse and the other one decided she wanted to show. Make it make it work, make it be a family affair.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. And the environment that you create where everybody has fun, there's an emphasis on fun.
Correct.
Yeah,
Correct. But the family has to stay together.
yeah,
So
yeah.
make it something that everybody wants to do and something that you can afford.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's good. Um, Shifting gears a little bit to the industry and the legacy that you want to leave, what do you think the halter horse industry needs to remain strong?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Oh, that's okay. It's all right.
Yeah,
What do
I'm
you think?
sorry.
That's okay. No worries. What do you think the halter horse industry needs to remain strong and vibrant?
We need positive leadership to
Mm,
carry on to the future next generation. We need a leadership that's for the horses and the
mm,
people.
yeah.
But we need leadership and guidance. And I think we
Yeah.
have some really good people that are doing that this day and time.
Hmm. Yeah, I would agree.
And for the halter horses, I see the scholarships,
Hmm.
WCHA and everything being a strong point.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, they're making a big investment in the next generation as well.
Yes,
The
ma'am.
WCHA. Hmm.
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am, very much.
So, what do you see as the role of a trainer? How might that change over the next 5 to 10 years?
Well, I think the role of a trainer in the next 5 to 10 years, we're going to have to go into a whole lot more advisory role with the do-it-yourselfers and the
Hmm.
owner breeder exhibitors. I think we're going to have to offer these people a whole lot of advice and a lot of help. There's many of them that are not going to be able to afford a trainer, and we're going to have to base everything around our advisory.
Hmm. Hmm. I think that's some pretty substantial wisdom. I think the horse shows are promoting the DIY amateur as well as the owner breeder exhibitors. So that
Yes, ma'am.
horse isn't going to a trainer necessarily. Um, yeah, you bring a really good point that we need your wisdom, but we might just have our horse at home instead of at your place.
Exactly. We need your
Yeah,
wisdom, but we truthfully cannot afford it
yeah,
on
yeah,
an everyday basis. And
yeah.
it's getting harder for the younger generation. The amateurs, the novice amateurs, I think one of the reasons like the novice amateur program, the walk trot programs are growing is because those are older people that have expendable money. Younger people are just getting started, they've got families, so on and so forth. I think it's important that we mentor to these people.
Hmm. Yeah.
instead of just throwing them to the wolves.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I appreciate that. What do you hope your legacy will be, both in the horses that you've raised and the people that you've influenced?
That when somebody sees my name or mentions my name, that they think that I was always fair and I tried to do the right thing for them or whoever.
Yeah. Yeah. I appreciate that. If you could send one message to the next generation of horsemen and women, what would it be?
Have fun.
Hmm.
Do this because you want to do it, because you have fun and you love your animals.
Yeah.
I I I like my clients to be involved. I want them to be
Hmm.
hands-on.
Yeah.
And we've got to there's a lot of people out there that don't want to you know, let the kids be with their horses and love their horses. I'm fine with that. I tell my kids, I tell my amateurs, you mess it up, I can fix it. If I can't fix it, then I don't need to be doing this job.
Yeah. That's a really great point. I like it. So, how do we find out more about you and your program? Are you available online? Do you have a Facebook page, anything like that, where we can see more?
I have a Facebook page. Mostly I
Okay.
do everything through Facebook. I don't do a whole lot of advertising over the
Okay.
years. All of mine has been pretty much word of mouth. And that's
Yeah.
how we always pretty much functioned.
Hmm.
And so I don't do Instagram or none of that kind of stuff. I
Yeah.
do Facebook.
Okay. Well, we will look for you there and certainly be paying attention to the Margarita Classic coming up in the middle of November. I'll make sure that we tag that horse show. And what's the name of the paint horse club that's associated with the
It's the
show?
South Texas Paint Horse Club.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Cathy, not only for your time today, but your investment in the industry, in the amateurs, the youth, and the next generation. We just value you and appreciate your investment.
I appreciate you having me. Thank you.
Absolutely.